All right, let's talk about the most incredible genius methods to generating endless generational wealth, okay? It's the waterfall method. Okay, some of y'all may have heard of this, some of y'all may have not. A lot of people have mixed feelings about the Rockefellers, right? Rockefellers were incredibly rich, incredibly wealthy, incredibly powerful. And some of the Rockefellers spoke out and had ideas about, creating more workers and less thinkers, things like that. They were heavily involved in, the school system and wanting the education system to be a forum to ultimately create more workers opposed to creating more people of free thought. They wanted to discourage that because they needed employees to continue to grow their industries. But what they did that was incredibly brilliant that ultimately I can't see why any of y'all would have any opposition to if you really just take a second to sit back and think about it and extricate the fact that it came from them, right? Just to cut them out of the equation, or just look at them as business-minded individuals, right? Okay, so from business aspect, this is what they did. So ultimately, every single member of the Rockefeller family took out the largest life insurance plan that they could qualify for, right? Ultimately, different people, different health issues, different ages and things like that ultimately qualify for different life insurance plans, but they got the largest life insurance plan they were able to qualify for. And what they did is, as the beneficiary, it wasn't a family member or anything like that. It was the Rockefeller Trust. So essentially it became like a family bank. That's what it did. Because there was so many, they populous, okay? They're absolutely populous family. And every single member had this life insurance policy, and that life insurance policy, when they died, it went straight to the trust. Okay, now, the cool thing which made it like a bank was the idea is that if you were a descendant, if you were one of the Rockefellers, and if you already had your life insurance policy in place, you were eligible to take out a loan from said trust. You're trying to grow a business. You're trying to, expand business into this way or that way, and you need some funding, right? You reach out to Rockefeller Family Trust, right? You take a withdrawal, a loan against the trust that ultimately you have no obligation or time frame in which to pay it back. Ultimately, you take it to live your life and to grow your business and to further create more wealth for the Rockefeller name and family, right? Then when you die, beneficiary of your life insurance policy is that trust. So as these people, generations, continue to live, create wealth, die, put more money back into the trust, as long as you were a Rockefeller, you almost had an endless bank, almost endless credit balance, right? And that's how they just created this generational wealth that was on a different level than any family or anybody has ever really done before. Even different people who have done similar things, family wasn't as large as the Rockefellers and didn't have the deep pockets that the Rockefellers had. Therefore, this family continuing to do that, and these generations, their nephews and sons and daughters and nieces, and they continue to grow the business. They take from the trust, they grow family business more, create more wealth, and all that would pour right back into the great family trust. So it's almost like this money just continued to multiply and multiply and multiply. It's absolutely genius. And more people should really be looking into this. Not just saying, hey, I've got a living will or a written will for when I die, my children are going to inherit my whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? They have my oldest is going to inherit the house and this, and I'm going to divide up the money and, all this stuff. It's no, man, if you have this trust that the wealth goes to, then yeah, the first line down, if you're the first one to initiate this, that first line down may not be as large, but that second line and that third line and that fourth line, it's going to continue to exponentially grow. The math is astounding. If you sit down and put pen to paper, you know what I'm saying? And like really figure this out and look at how many, Rockefellers there were. This is why they had the power they did. This is why they had the wealth they did. And this is why they had the reach they did. They're incredibly smart. Incredibly. So, y'all keep thinking about building financial freedom and building a better and brighter tomorrow. For not just yourself and not just your family, your like immediate children, but your children's children and your children's children's children. If we start thinking in that, stop thinking so small. We are in a society that is encouraged. Man, I grew up in the Nintendo generation. Now we are in the social media generation. We want instant gratification. We want things fast. We want things quicker. We want things right now. And that's what we want. We want to be able to, I left this big sum of money for my son, for my daughter. I built this business and I'm passing it on to my son, or my daughter. But are you taking the time to teach your son and daughter how to make that grow and pass it down to the next one? And make that grow and pass it down to the next one. And maybe your son or daughter doesn't want the business that you built. Maybe they don't want to step into your footsteps, right? That's why this waterfall effect is so incredibly powerful, because they don't have to follow in your footsteps to take a line of credit from the family trust and grow their own business. Go into their own, go for their doctorate degree, right? Go for their PhD. They don't want to be in the family business. They want to go and do that, right? They want to be a lawyer. They want to be a doctor. They want to be a teacher, right? But they're sitting here trying to figure out how they're going to pay it. And instead of taking out student loans, they're going to reach into family trust and say, help me out. Think about this. This is one of the most brilliant, greatest things that a family can do. Me and Kimberly are going to be the ones who launch it for our family. You could be the one to launch it for yours. It's your boy. Be sure to like, subscribe, ding that bell, get your notifications, and share this with somebody. So many people don't understand this process. So many people miss out on this little bit of detail. So share it. Share it with somebody. Share it with your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, coworker. Share it. And take a step. If not you, mention it to one of your family members. Maybe they can take the step. It's not a complicated process. All right. It's your boy and I'm out.